Oh, poverty. We really can't, like, solve it before, huh? Hmm.
怎么啦，梁？怎么不说话了？
Well, you know why? You know why? Huh?
你还是处了呀？不打算干了？
In the woods, Tong spilled it all. After his smirk waiting on my answer, I slammed him against a tree and armed to his neck. You son of a bitch! You didn't tell me those lambs were meant for the lamb dishes! You said this job was about feeding the lambs and sending them off to rich folks as daughters. Stole nonsense! I yelled at Tong, muscles tense, my face twisted in anger.
你他妈怎么还急眼了呢？
Why am I not will be not
一
mad?
开始也不知道这活是这样的，要不是向李贵打听，谁他妈能知道？这种活咱们怎么可能一开始就知道？但是一人500两银子，咱们不做也有其他人做。
Continued to glare angrily at Tong, my eyes ablaze, blazing with fury.
看开点，咱一起干活这么多年了，手上也没少沾血。死在你手里的人，没有80也有50了。虽说你从来没有杀过妇孺啊，但若是离家在外的男人死了，刘家的没了顶梁柱，早晚也要死全家。嘿，少在这跟我假清高！你以往没直接杀小羊，但早不知害死了多少小羊了。那这次的活儿也不是让你直接杀小羊，又有什么区别呢？
I stayed quiet. Tong's word hit me hard. My determination wavered and I eased my hold on his arm.
他妈的梁！想想那年的京城大爆炸，不管是好人坏人，男人女人一下就给炸没了。
What's that connect to? Tong shoved me hard, breaking free from my grip.
本就是无常的，好人不一定长命百岁，坏人也不一定就会遭报应。世上的一切，人说了都不算，只有老天爷说了算。不管我们是好人还是坏人，哪一天说死就死了。那我们为什么不为自己活着？啊？我们活得更好，这有什么不对？
No. Tong tied up his clothes, teeth clenched, and spoke to me with frustration. I lowered my head and pondered his words, remaining silent.
梁，你自己考虑考虑吧。我最后再提醒你2句，这事儿咱们办了，先不说荣华富贵，攀了这种级别的大贵人，哪怕之后咱被官府捉住，也没人敢砍咱们，因为他需要咱们给他做事儿。
I hate doing dirty works.
咱们不办，一定会有其他人去办。天下都是人家的，若是反抗他，只有一个结果，没命！呸！
That sad, Tong turned and headed back towards the camp. I stood there, memories of blood rain from the 6th year of the Yankee flooding my mind. After that explosion, everything I cherished became meaningless: wealth, emotions, bonds, and even principles. The words I never said to my father, the ones he never spoke to me, my dream, his dream, our conflicts, all lost their significance. I've been living in emptiness, like a walking corpse. At that moment, I realized one thing. Nothing matters except staying alive. If I never knew these lambs, their fate wouldn't concern me in the slightest. Now that I do, can I really send them to the swine demon? Please don't. I didn't give Tong a clear answer and returned to the camp alone afterwards. Back at the camp, I should have slept, but I couldn't. Watching the lambs slumber, thoughts raced through my mind. Hunger and fewer. His sisters were from poor backgrounds. The older one looked after the younger, who despite her age was quite sensible. Then there's Kyung-hwa. Her father once held high office, now fallen. Despite it all, she's smart and sensible. Mansway, the smartest, knew it all from the start, seeking vengeance for her sister who doesn't exist. She wasn't scared to die and she's sharp, always aimed to go after the big shot. No, to take that swine demon for revenge. I was not too hopeful. but had to admit if she can keep that blade hidden and catch him off guard, that swine demon just might meet his end at her hands. After all, when she came at me with that blade, it was swift and decisive. A regular folk might have been caught off guard. And can she pull it off? If she messes up, what's the swine demon going to do with her? And if she pulls it off, what chaos will that stir up in Liang or beyond? And then will I be implicated for sending her there? And as the wolves bark in the background, I almost dozed off with unanswered questions. Slept about 2 hours, then Tang woke me to switch shifts. We kept watch a bit longer, then hit the road again the next day. We got to Shanzhou in about 4 hours. Before reaching the gate, we untied the ropes from the lamp's waist. Tang reminded them sternly not to cause any trouble. At the gate, guards checked our guides from Yinsan. After a few questions about the lamps, we got into Shanzhou. The streets of Shanzhou were wide and bustling with a sense of prosperity, unlike Huazhou or Wenxiang. Perhaps due to our eastward journey, there were few refugees, giving the streets an illusion of peace and prosperity. There were vendors, traveling merchants, and a monkey performer with 3 monkeys doing tricks. A monkey trainer with a turban guided 3 monkeys through a series of tricks, prompted spectators to drop silvers into his copper bowl. After a stroll, Tang led us to the Grim Inn located in the secluded part of the city. This inn was similar to the ones found in Anxiang, situated in remote area of the city. This inn only catered to the special guests like us on a mission.
妈的，走了这么多天，终于到陕州了。哎呦，哎，瞧这道修的啊，宽，这么宽才算是大城市啊。
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me, I hate you.
嘿嘿，梁爷不愧是去过京城的人啊，陕州城都瞧不上了。
What's Hannah? I stayed silent. Tang smirked and brushed it off.
一会儿咱们先去客栈，今天都休息好了啊，好吃好喝，第2天咱们再出发。星爷今天高兴，自掏腰包请你们吃顿好的，想吃啥等会儿跟我说，到时候找个厨子烧个菜，咱在客栈里摆一桌。
Oh, Fist, thank you. Tang led the way, speaking to the lamps following behind. We tried to cheer up the lamps, but they remained somber. Maybe the lamps sensed the tension between us. None of them seemed cheerful.
来，都说说想吃什么？哎，说呀啊，不用跟我来，小翠你先说。
Wow, like suddenly, you are really changed, man.
什么？大点声！
星爷，我妹子想吃肉馒头。
行，记住了。你呢？你想吃啥？
我想吃菜馒头，咸菜的最好，没有的话就要白菜的。
哟吼，你是小羊到顶挑啊！哎，那到时候找找吧。
想吃鱼，什么鱼都行。
肉馒头、菜馒头、鱼，那等会儿就买这些。哦，小哑巴说不了话。阿良，你想吃什么？
Anything fine for me.
好，那要不你和小哑巴出门去买些菜，再补充一些咱之后吃的干粮，银子我给。
No need, I'll hand in the money. But why me and her?
他不能说话，不能说想吃啥，那他跟你去想吃啥，你给他买啊。再说了，你买这么多东西，不是也缺个帮着提溜的人吗？
Hold that up, huh? With a grin, Tang urged me and Mansui to hurry up and buy rations, insisting we come back to him for money. I knew exactly why he wanted Mansui and me to go shopping together. When we arrived at the city, it was customary to replenish her supplies. Usually, Tong took care of his task. He was more eloquent and skilled at bargaining. However, this time, he specifically instructed me to buy groceries, probably due to his lack of trust in me. My failure to give a clear response last night likely contributed to his suspicion. He didn't want me staying at the inn anymore, fearing what I might say to the 4 lamps if I left them alone together. He even worried I might set them free. The reason he was fine with Mansui coming with me was that he thought she was mute and less likely to cause trouble. Alright, stay at the inn. Keep an eye on the other lamps. I'll take her shopping. I glanced at Tang and then at Mansui. Then I grabbed silver pieces from the bundle and headed out with Mansui. Hanzhou's streets were livelier than Hanzhou. They were filled with shops including taverns, tea houses, pawn shops, and workshops. People brush past each other as they walk. Looks like monkey performer from earlier finished the act. You want back with monkeys. After a few hundred steps from the inn, the man swayed silent until then suddenly addressed me. What? Glancing at her, it seems she had no intention of pretending to be mute anymore. What's our first stop? Market, grabbing rations, fish, and buns. Tang already got their order, so I'm set. How about you? Anything specific you want?
我没有啊，梁叶选自己喜欢吃的就好。这么一想的话，有一个东西很想吃。如果梁叶看到番薯的话，就买一个吧。
Sweet potatoes? What's that?
梁叶竟然不知道番薯。
Honestly, never heard of it. Didn't come across it even in the capital.
那我教你了，番薯是海外来的稀罕货，吃了能长寿。
Who told you that?
爹爹。
We moved forward for a bit and I scanned for the market's location in Shanzhou. Time was ticking. It was afternoon and most shops were shutting down. Afternoon and shops are shutting down? We have to hurry, otherwise we might end up empty-handed.
要不牵一下我的手吧？
No, I won't hold your hand for the second time. As I thought about finding the market, Mansui spoke up again. Why hold hands? I was
不知
puzzled.
梁叶注意到了没？总有人在看我们。
So?
梁叶看起来比我大10几岁，若不像妇女一样手牵手，容易被人怀疑。
Really? They're looking at us? Mansui glanced around cautiously and whispered to me. Does this affect me and her surviving? Why are you insisting on holding hands? I don't want to hold hands with you. Like, you're more like what do you call that? Like a older brother and sister rather than father and... No, I refuse. Nope. I think will she die if I refuse? Uphold the virtues of men. Master Liang never holds hands with a woman before marriage. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. That's an interesting achievement to have. So am I doing the right thing? And if I hold her hands, does it mean that I need to marry her? I don't need it. I turned down her idea and walked ahead alone. This lass always got a lot on her mind.
梁叶，你看那里有馒头铺。
It just started when she called out. Boss, do you have any buns here?
客官要带馅儿的还是不带馅儿的？
Phil, do you have pickled vegetable buns?
一个馒头5文钱，您看看来几个？
Buns seems more expensive than before. I remember they used to be 2 or 3 coins each, but now they're 5 coins. Must be because of all the disasters everywhere pushing up the prices of grain and meat. 3 pork buns and pickled vegetable buns, please. I thought for a moment and said to the boss.
客官，我们这里8个一笼，买1笼划算，只要32文钱。
Let's buy 2 more or less. Mansui, what kind you want? Did he sleep calling her lass?
要肉馅的。
Alright, 5 pork buns and 3 pickled vegetable buns. Here's the money.
好，我去拿1笼馒头啊！客官，稍等一会儿啊。
Handed over 32 copper coins and he went to fetch the buns. While Mansui and I waited We chatted for a bit
爷爷在
longer.
京城的时候吃过肉馒头吗？
Sure did. Lots of pawn shops in the capital.
见过万岁爷吗？
Never did. My family's been in trade for generations. Never had a chance to see the emperor.
京城和陕州比是什么样的？
Wider streets, more people. Otherwise, pretty similar.
真的差不多，肯定还有些别的地方不一样吧。
No, there aren't. Not much difference. Once you've been around, you'll see everywhere pretty much the same. I casually dropped the line to Manswin. Soon after, I noticed the bun shop owner handing over the basket of
客官，
buns.
馒头都好了，这篮子直接送你们。
Huh? Don't we pay for the basket? Why give it to
来
us?
装馒头的篮子要收1文，这也是惯例。不过看您家小女水灵，这1文我就不收了。
谢谢伯伯。
Shit, Baba.
没事儿，哎呀，小姑娘真乖，长得真俊呐。
I'll stop being so creepy. I grabbed the basket and caught Mansway giving me a smirk. Ah, that last was quite the show off. After buying the buns, we asked the boss for the market address and found it shortly after. Unfortunately, we were late. Many stalls had already closed. After a quick search, we found a fish stand still open. We bought a barely alive greenfish and grabbed some cabbage and radishes from nearby stalls. Right looking around, we didn't find any stalls selling sweet potatoes. No sweet potatoes around.
本来就不好找，当时是爹爹好不容易才搞到的，估计早就没得卖了。
Should we head back?
等一下，梁爷，你忘了还有东西要买，
What's that?
仔细的东西。
Oh yeah, alright. With that Mansai reminder, I almost forgot to buy the missing items from the wooden box earlier. To have a complete shadow play show, we needed more than just the drums and gongs. We also required some donkey skin and wooden sticks to draw additional puppets. Within an hour, we got what we needed. Found the wooden sticks and donkey skin at the carpenter's leather shop. The owner said they mostly dealt in low-end stuff, and once something was spawned, it was sunken for good. The drums and gongs were rare around here, but luckily there was a pawn shop at the market. We found the theater troops' drums and gongs. Are you really going to play the shadow play drums and gongs while everyone is asleep and in the middle of the forest? After a quick haggle, I paid 200 goods for the set.
这套锣鼓买200文，你觉得贵不贵？
Yes, it is too much. Alright, things are usually pricey at pawn shops. This price ain't
安
bad.
子当时为什么要当掉锣鼓啊？
Times have been tough lately. Many people can't even afford food, let alone go to the theater. Fewer people attending shows, the theater troupe decided to call it
戏
quits.
班的人不唱戏，那回去干什么？
Got me either. I don't have any friends in theater troupes to ask. Oh, didn't you mention it? Your family used to be in the theater troupe before becoming regular folks. How'd that switch
我不知
happen?
道，是从我爷爷那一辈转的，爹爹没跟我讲过。对了，梁爷，有件事想问一下你。
What's
你在
up?
当铺当过多少次东西？
Never kept count, probably dozens of
东
times.
西都是为了卖钱吗？
Yep, always for money. Only replied to Mansui. Back then, when food was scarce, I often pawned items. Starting out with Song, I did a few deals and even handed a few sheep. Initially, I kept some of their belongings, but later, when times got tough, I pawned them all. Those transactions were pretty much final, and whatever pawned was probably long gone. Good riddance. I didn't believe those sheep's spirit would come back for revenge. But I still fear of holding onto this item might attract attention from enemies one day. After we got our stuff from the pawn shop, Mansui carried the groceries and I held the copper gongs. We headed back to the inn. I thought she wouldn't speak to me on the way. But as we passed Shanzu's golden pagoda, she surprised me with striking up a conversation.
昨晚你和星爷是不是吵架了？
Yeah, about that. Mansui whispered, asking me, Last night a fight? How did you know Tang and I argued yesterday? Maybe you shouted? I don't know, maybe you shouted and like smashed him in a tree? I don't know. Are you pretending to sleep or are you following us too? stopped and glared at her. After I spoke, I realized something wasn't adding up. Couldn't have been following us. I tied her up last night. She must have been feigning asleep. That last probably squinted, pretending to be asleep while watching Tang and me. She pieced together that we had argued from our reactions before and after our conversation.
我昨晚没睡着，迷迷糊糊的就听见梁爷找星爷去谈话。回来后，梁爷一直都睡不着，像是有心事。梁爷莫怪，我就是好奇，你们昨晚到底说了什么呀？
Rather not say, let's head back. I took her hand and tried to pull her along.
我不明白，梁爷和星爷到底谁是老大？
We're in cahoots. She remained rooted in the spot, speaking with her head lowered. We're both equals, just partners. I handled the physical stuff better. He's sharper with words, so we make a good team.
那你们感情很好吗？是拜把子的兄弟吗？
Just regular
那
friends.
我觉得，梁爷不必只是听他的，好像他是老大一样。之前洗澡的时候，梁爷提过我知道那件事之后，梁爷可能觉得有些事都是老天定的，人怎么做都没用。但我觉得不是这样的，梁爷，你可以做出自己的选择。
I know I can. Mansui lifted her head, her big eyes staring straight at me, gleaming with determination. Felt unease and paused by her stare. What did she mean by choice? Was she hinting at something? Quiet down, we're nearly at the inn. Just act like you were a little mute before. I avoided her eyes, took her hand, and headed back to the inn. On the way back, I stayed silent. She did too. Mansui and I made it back to the inn. Right as we entered, Tang grabbed the groceries I bought and handed them to the cook. After about 2 hours, nearly dusk, the waiter ushered us to the room upstairs. Oh, that's delicious. Now I'm hungry. The cook has finished preparing the food and it was served on the table. Fried cabbage, steamed fish, fried pork buns, 3 pickled vegetable buns, and a big bowl of radish soup. It had been a while since I've been much fed, and the lumps probably never had. Tang untied them and they gathered around the table, eyes wide, drooling over the dishes.
我和梁爷都是说话算数的人啊，说了不会亏待你们，就不会亏待你们。馒头、鱼，你们要的，这不都有了？来，快吃快吃！
Tang plumped into the chair by a wooden table, rolled up his sleeves, and dug into the food with his chopsticks. He swiftly grabbed a chunk of fish and gobbled it down.
好吃啊！哎，你们快坐下来吃饭，客气啥呢？啊！
Tang swallowed a bite of fish and motioned the lumps to take a seat. I led by example and sat down with little mute following suit. The rest of the lumps nervously took their seats but hesitated to pick up their chopsticks. Begin, everyone. Basket of buns with pickled and pork. Each of you gets one. Threw the lumps casually, then grab a pork bun with my hands. Took a bite, the skin cracked, juices burst out. Delicious, tasted amazing. Way better than dry rations. Watching me eat with relief, Kewer couldn't hold back any longer, mimicking my actions by reaching for a bun in the plate. Soon after, Hunger, Mansui, and Kyonghwa each grabbed one too. The lambs eagerly nibbled on the buns, one after another. They seemed starved, perhaps having gone without the buns for quite some time. I paid close attention to Kewer and Hunger. The sister had requested the buns. Initially, they devoured the buns as if afraid they'd disappear, but halfway through they slowed down and savored each bite. With only one bun each, they likely worried about running out too soon and forgetting the taste.
要不要尝尝拆馒头？
After finishing most of her own, Hunger passed it to her sister.
哥哥要尝尝肉馒头，好吃。不用，你自己吃呗。
谢谢吃，尝尝。
Here also offered her meat bun to Hunger, who still needs them, and sure. The fussing, each of you take another. I intervened when I saw them bickering back and forth, putting an end to their indecision.
我们不是一人一个吗？
There are 8 months in total. Tang and I were supposed to eat 2, but I don't like them. You two can have mine. I said faintly and then picked up the pork bun and handed it to them
谢
both.
谢梁爷。
The two sisters took my bond and started dividing it again.
哎，梁啊，你不能只偏心这俩姐妹啊，可还有俩小羊看着呢。那星爷对你俩好啊，给你们俩分一个。
You're being great people being nice. Thou also grabbed a pickled vegetable bun and split it in half and handed one piece to Mansui and the other to Kyunghwa. Mansui took the bun, smiled at Tang in thanks.
谢谢星爷。
Kyunghwa, a bit nervous, accepted the half bun and quietly expressed gratitude to
哎
Tang.
呀，这个鱼是你梁爷特别去买的，快吃啊！那。
Tang picked up the chopsticks, serving Kyunghwa a piece of fish. Kyunghwa nodded nervously, avoiding eye contact, and began eating her share of the pickled vegetable bun and fish. After a while, she took the first bite of fish, tears welled up in her eyes. She tried hard not to cry, but 2 tears escaped and trailed down her cheeks. Quickly wiping her face to hide her tears, she resumed eating, bowing her head. Tang and I pretended not to notice her tears. Delicious, I'm crying. I didn't ask why she was crying, but we understood. It was likely the first time she had enjoyed such good meals since being taken, and the fish likely brought back memories of her past life.
哎呀，都多吃点儿，多吃点儿。
Tang kept his eyes on the lambs, smiling softly as they ate. To the other lambs, he seems gentle now, quite different from before, like a good man. But I knew he just wanted to give the lambs good meal before they met the doomsday, so they didn't come back to haunt him. Just his last bit of hypocrisy. He is hypocrite. Those gross thoughts killed my appetite. As I went to leave, Tang stopped me.
梁，你这就吃完了？
Yeah, not feeling hungry. I'm going upstairs to rest for a bit.
啊，行，那你去吧。咱住的地方是2楼东北角那2间啊，你先挑一个去歇吧。
Tang nodded and gestured in the direction. But as I moved to step away, it called out to me once more.
等等，现在易经还没到，你别睡太早啊。
What's your problem? I want to rest.
昨晚的事没聊完，咱哥俩一会儿喝点酒，再接着。
Oh, let me rest, please.